Hi lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to take some time to review some of the new music that was recently released this past week. Of course, we won't be able to cover all of the most recent music releases, but I would like to talk about a few songs that stuck out to me, ranging from Beyoncé, Dua Lipa, Ariana Grande, and Mariah Carey. As per usual, Beyoncé stopped the world when she decided to not only drop her highly anticipated Verizon Super Bowl commercial during the third quarter of the game, but she further decided to cause more social media chaos by dropping not one, but two new singles off of her forthcoming album, currently titled Renaissance Act 2, set for release on March 29th. The singles 16 Carriages and Texas Hold'em mark an official departure from her usual R&B and pop roots, as the surprise singles are 100% country songs, which indicates that the presumed theme for Act 2 would be a fully country album. Beyoncé initially made her foray into country music in 2016 with her song Daddy's Lessons off of her Lemonade album, which she also performed the song live at the Country Music Awards alongside the Chicks. Fast forward 8 years later, Beyoncé is making her official introduction into the country music scene in what could possibly be her most historic era as a black woman superstar of her magnitude who is reclaiming the genre that has been gatekept for so many years.
Secondly, the reason that Beyoncé doing a country music album is so incredible is because of what country music really is, what it really stands for, and where it comes from. Real country music is intertwined with storytelling. Some of the most haunting songs in history, some of the most heartbreaking songs ever written have been country songs. And if you didn't know this before, country music was heavily curated and influenced by people of color. People of color that would tell their stories through music and through lyrics.
I saw this one tweet that said, 16 Carriages really is Beyoncé's most vulnerable song. So grateful we still get to hear her stories. The instrumental is so grandiose, I can already feel the goosebumps hearing that song live. 16 Carriages is by far my favorite track out of the two because, like this person stated, it showcases her vulnerability on a completely different level. I'll put this song up on par with other songs like Flaws and All or If I Were a Boy, where we are able to get a small glimpse inside the psyche of Beyoncé and what she has endured. But 16 Carriages is a 4-minute audio exploration that narrates the challenges Beyoncé has experienced in her life, as well as the work in progress she was and still is undergoing at age 38, which is probably the age when she wrote the song, as the lyrics stated it has been 38 summers and I'm not in my bed. From the outside looking in, it seems Beyoncé has everything, and that she seemingly has it all together without the glitz and glamour, but this song does an excellent job at humanizing her and making listeners understand the hardships of her journey, being the eldest daughter, foregoing her teenage years to step inside the toxicities of the music industry, watching the sacrifices her parents made to help her succeed, and eventually, once she reached that level of superstardom, still trying to maintain longevity while balancing motherhood. I really hope Beyoncé tours this album because it is an absolute must for me to see 16 Carriages perform live. My favorite line is when she said, "I might cook, clean, but still won't fold," which I feel is a genuine testimony to her resilience as a woman and artist whose career has spanned 25 plus years. While 16 Carriages is a more subdued ballad, the second single, Texas Hold'em, is an up-tempo country western folk-inspired track that is undeniably catchy and energetic. The song seems to have gotten a much larger push the week of its release, as the Beehive has been working hard to urge radio stations to play the song and for the song to debut at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Literally a few days after its release, a user on X said, "I requested Texas Hold'em at my local country radio station, KYKC, and after requesting, I received an email from the radio station stating, 'We do not play Beyoncé on KYKC as we are a country music station.'" This post sparked immediate outrage from fans online as it signaled that the radio station, which is based in Oklahoma, was intentionally excluding the song from their lineup, even though it is an undeniable country track. The backlash and growing number of high-volume requests resulted in the radio station releasing a statement that said, "I think we issued a generic reply when we should have been more detailed. If someone emailed our country station and requested a Rolling Stones song, we would have probably replied the same. Beyoncé is known for not being a country artist, so we just replied to that effect. But we are actually excited that she has crossed over to a new genre, and we will watch it closely to see if bigger stations start playing it and to watch it on the chart." Truthfully, I did not care for this single at all because it sounded like your generic, soulless country song that you'll hear at your local grocery store until Beyoncé released the a cappella version a few days later, which was absolutely magical. That woman's vocal control is on par with the Whitney Houston. Not so much their vocal range, but the way she's able to seamlessly manipulate her vocals with each line of the track and how she's able to navigate different riffs and runs with extreme precision. It is just super rare to hear that level of mastery of one's vocal versatility and agility in this era of music. This song, much like Break My Soul, is definitely a grower and is one that I think will dominate the radio and charts all through the summer for sure. Like I mentioned before, I believe this will be B's most historic and iconic era because she is 100% stepping into uncharted territory for someone of her stature. Though it is new, it is not unfamiliar for her, as Times Magazine fiercely defended Beyoncé by stating, "To be black in country is to undo the historical narrative that has been told to you. That plantation is not the nucleus of country identity. It is not the totem of the South. Knowles Carter's presence in country music is signaling the birth of a new era, a renaissance if you will. It is time for the institutional oppressive regimes of country music to be removed, and for those who have continued to carry on the legacy of country music's heart and soul to be seated at the table." So far, Dua Lipa is 2 for 2 for me. I don't know if this song will reach the top of the charts immediately, but if we know anything about Dua, it is that she and her music play the long game, and pretty much most of her songs sustain an organic growth of longevity over time. I discussed my thoughts on her forthcoming third album on my Dua Is Not Your Average Pop Star video, and I also discussed my thoughts on her lead single Houdini in my New Music in 2024 video, so I won't go into too much detail on those elements, but I feel like her second single, Training Season, is a solid follow-up to Houdini. When she previewed the song at the Grammys this year, I was on the fence if I liked it or not, but once it was officially released, it was an immediate bop. The disco pop ABBA-inspired dance track was once again produced and written by Tame Impala's Kevin Parker, along with Caroline Polachek, Danny L. Harl, in addition to co-writers Tobias Jessel Jr. and Caroline Allen. I think the message of the song and overall theme of the album so far is something a lot of people, especially women, can relate to. Dua mentioned previously that this album will be more personal than her previous. She said, quote, "I've definitely grown up. Overall, whether it's sonically or in terms of the themes, I've matured. It's like I'm coming into my power and not afraid to talk about things. It's about understanding what I want," unquote. The song expresses the fact that she is no longer in her training season with men, and that when it comes to conversation, mutual understanding, closeness, and affection, she has no more patience for men who don't fit the criteria, or otherwise, much like her previous song suggests, she would be gone like Houdini. I think this song successfully builds upon the personal and artistic growth of Dua, and the music perfectly illustrates her sonic maturation as well. When discussing the inspiration for the song, Dua said, quote, "I have been on a string of bad dates, and the last one was the final straw. The next morning, I arrived to the studio with co-writers Caroline and Tobias, asking me how it all went, and I immediately declared training season is over. And like the best day after, debriefs with your mates, we had a lot of laughs, and it quickly came together from there. And while it is obviously about that feeling when you are just absolutely done telling people, men specifically in this case, how to date you right, it is also about my training season being over and me growing with every experience. I have never felt more confident, clear, or empowered. While it may be that training season is never over for any of us, you start to see the beauty in finding that person to experience it with. You stop looking for the trainees and become more interested in having someone where you are and someone to grow with," unquote. I saw this one tweet that said, "What I love about DL3 so far is how crisp the mastering and engineering is. Like both Houdini and Training Season sound so rich and luxurious and high definition, and it elevates the music and experience to another level." Though I feel Dua does not get enough credit for carrying the pop genre for the last 3 to 4 years, I think her production and engineering is what will continuously set her apart from her counterparts. It surpasses what I typically hear from other pop girlies and further pushes Dua into hopefully a future Grammy winner for Best Engineered Album. As for the video, apparently the intro features voice messages of her exes apologizing, but I don't know if that was confirmed or not. But if so, like this one YouTube comment said, she went from "Go Girl, Give Us Nothing" to "Go Girl, Give Us Everything." I expected this video to have high energy choreography like Houdini, but instead we just got Dua sitting down in a coffee shop the entire time. It is not my favorite video from her, but it definitely matches the lyrical content, as there are dozens of men competing and vying for Dua's attention, while she sits unfazed and unbothered, indicating her comfort and enjoyment in her own company. I am beyond excited for Dua's new album, but I just need my girl to hurry up and drop a release date. We have finally reached the annual return of Ryan Destiny's music career. I have been a fan of Ryan and her sultry vocals since her time on the show Star, but ever since the show ended, we have been sprinkled with sporadic song releases from the singer/actress. In her first release in over a year, Ryan blessed her fans with a new song called "How Does Your Hands Feel," which is a very Prince-inspired pop rock 80s track that also reminds me of Rihanna's "Kiss It Better," or even a song that is reminiscent of the song "Taboo" off of 7th Street's Drunken Word Sober Thoughts album. When discussing the meaning of the song, Ryan said, quote, "I wanted to step into my sensual side. The song is sexy but vulnerable as well. Missing someone and having to let them know the way they made you feel is not always easy, but this song feels like the confident and forward version of that mood. A good double back anthem," unquote. I read this one tweet that said, Ryan Destiny is an artist to be listening to. How Your Hands Feel is giving me authenticity, mystery, seduction, strings, dance, disco, longing, feeling. I can only wonder the visual she would decide. She's creating her own lane. This is good. This song is very good in my opinion, but it gives very much a preview of something greater to come. I feel like the production severely overpowers Ryan's vocals, which makes some lyrics almost inaudible and hard to understand, but I feel out of the handful of songs Ryan has released over the years, this is by far her best. My only gripe with Ryan is that even though she is completely capable of offering a distinctive, sensual, and ethereal sound that could stand alone in the R&B world, she refuses to release music consistently. I feel like her time on the show Star helped establish that she could be a force musically if only she was paired with the right songwriters and producers, so I hope Ryan and her team truly deliver on releasing more music this spring. When I imagine and fantasize about what my dream Ariana Grande and Mariah Carey collaboration would sound like, the Yes And remix is absolutely not what I pictured at all. I won't go into depth about Yes And, given that I already did 2 review videos on the Yes And song, as well as discuss the Easter egg rollout to Ariana's forthcoming album, Eternal Sunshine, which you should definitely check out, but I still wanted to highlight this iconic collaboration between 2 vocal powerhouses. I will say that although I completely adore the high notes and ad-libs throughout the song from Mariah, as well as the fact that the elusive Shantos is embracing her deeper and low-register vocals this past few years, the mixing resulted in this song sounding chaotic and disjointed the entire 4 minutes. I did not hear any cohesive harmonies that made me feel like these two had any musical chemistry that is typically supposed to elevate a remix song. I think this remix did more harm than good, as it only acknowledged the weaknesses of each songstress, given the difference in their volumes, along with Ariana's wispy and airy tone that is much more calmer and subdued compared to Mariah's dominating belts that noticeably overpowers Ariana's whispers in the chorus. I saw these 2 Reddit posts that said, this could have worked better if Ariana did new vocals that matched Mariah's rich voice. They both sound amazing, and I think Mariah fits a song like this, but the soft singing of Ari is just... We also know that Mariah has some extraordinary soft vocals. However, this was a chance for both of them to be at the same level. And another post that said, you can tell they weren't in the studio together, and Mariah just sang whenever she felt like it. There was no harmonizing, no melodies playing off of each other, no actual remixing, just randomly adding raw sounding vocals from Mariah onto an already controversial and milquetoast song. Such a bizarre choice. It reminds me of the Ice Spice remix of Taylor Swift. Same thing, just so obviously no collaboration whatsoever and poorly mixed. The intro of the song had a lot of potential, but I believe my expectations were way too high to begin with. Considering the dance house vibe of Yes And, coupled with the fact that Mariah is the undisputed queen of remixes, I was hoping the Yes And remix would be a completely revamped and transformed version into an iconic remix like Mariah's Emotion Club Mix, or her Heartbreaker If You Should Ever Be Lonely Club Mix, or possibly a complete R&B remix, which I feel would have been a game changer given their successful track records with the genre. Personally, I feel like this was a lazy, uninspired approach to revive the song's position on the charts, since Ariana said Yes And would be the only lead single released ahead of the album. I think Ariana and her team should have saved such a legendary collaborator like Mariah for a separate song on the album. But overall, I am happy Ariana was able to get a feature from a living legend who we all know Ariana is a big fan of. Mainly, I blame the audio engineer for tainting what could have been a more pleasant audio experience for me, but overall, I still enjoyed the original Yes And song, and I'm still overly excited for the album. All in all, my favorite release from this week will be 16 Carriages, and I'm really looking forward to everyone's upcoming albums. I think this spring is going to give summer 2018 vibes, when there is a top-tier album released pretty much every single Friday. So I'm hopeful that we are all going to have no shortage of quality projects this year. Let me know in the comments what you all think of the new music releases this past week, and what upcoming songs or albums you are looking forward to hearing. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you next time.